Hello friends, welcome to my landscape photography vlog. In this video, I talked about how I captured the beautiful sand dunes of Death Valley National Park and how I planned for the excursion. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Alright, got the camera rolling.
Oh, this is going to be awesome with these clouds.
Yeah, got some nice dramatic sky. It's a beautiful day. The sun's finally out, so the dunes colors are really vibrant right now. But the plan for this evening shoot, so I've done this before last time, so I walked the same way, hiked up, we just explore around different dunes and basically use a telephoto lens to point and shoot. I've learned a lot since my last time I did this, so definitely going to implement any lessons I learned to get some better compositions. Sand dunes are quite the chaotic landscape. Coming here without a plan will be quite difficult because there are just so many unpredictable compositions. There's no particular trails either, so you don't want to get lost in the middle of the desert. I used applications like Google Maps or Google Earth to pinpoint where exactly I want to be so that I have a good sense of directions and we'll have an easier time out there and won't be lost trying to find my car later. Alright. So here's my first shot of the day, zoomed in at 200mm. I really like how peaceful the composition came together with the clean look of the sand pyramids and the valley behind in dapple blue colors thanks to the early afternoon lighting. I even tried to zoom in at 400mm to get even closer, maybe removing the sky to minimize the distraction. After that, I pick one of the sand pyramids to capture this simple scene. The settings I chose for all these shots were at f11 at 1/640th of a second. They were initially intended to be some test shots, but I ended up liking all three and it was not a bad way to kick off the day. Taking a couple of test shots. I think the lighting right now is still a little harsh. We got about 3.5 hours till sunset, but it's just because it's got some nice clouds in the sky, so the light changes every time the clouds are moving. So the dunes right now, they got the golden color, but still a little reflective, which I really like. So I think I found a nice composition when I zoom in with my 400mm. Yeah, that's the only thing I'm hoping for is it's not too windy, so you can't really see those dusting on top of each sand pyramids. This works too. Later on, we'll be going further up there and pretty much get a little closer so I can zoom in even more. Yeah, for now, let's grab a few more shots, have a relaxing day, exploring the dunes. While I continued to wait for the light to get better, I found this composition. There were lots of rolling hills and sand pyramids, but at the moment, what got my attention was patterns of sand itself. It was untouched, no footprints, and the stripes of sand was so mesmerizing that it looked something like you want to print and put it on your wall. For this shot,
I had the focal length of 200mm, still at f11, but now shutter speed at 1/400th of a second. After I got this shot, the light was beginning to change, so we began to hop from one sand dune to another.
Come on, Kevin. Get up there. Whew. Wow.
Oh, man.
Wow, look at that. I think we could stop here for now.
Sure.
There's a lot of good stuff right down there. So while we were taking a break, I got the time lapse on. So shooting about 500 shots, 2-second interval at f5.6 ISO 125. The reason why I shoot my time lapse at a lower aperture is because of the dust spots. I don't want the dust spot to be showing, and taking care of them for 500 shots, that's a little annoying to do. And I have my focus on infinity, so everything from here to there is just going to be super sharp.
So I had the time lapse and pretty much let the camera do the work while we were taking a break. We kept seeing the clouds passing the sun one after the other, which affected the lighting on the dunes. And in the whole batch of 500 shots, one brought to my attention. This composition became one of my favorites of the day. We were fortunate enough to have multiple clouds because of the rain in the Sierras. Thanks to those clouds, I was able to get this nice contrast separation between the highlights and the shadows, and the sun gives his dunes these bright yellow tones that almost look like CGI. I even tried to minimize the scene with a 1x1 crop to get more of an intimate look, and everything was kept sharp all the way thanks to the use of manual focusing. The blue tones from the valley really complements the golden colors of the dunes. Overall, a spectacular scene to look at. Speaking of minimizing, I took these two shots right after. It was the Badlands right behind the dunes that got lit up by the brief openings in the clouds. The light kept changing constantly from moody tones to soft warm colors as those rain clouds were moving away. The shot would have been a bit boring and the colors would have been muted if this was captured in colder tones. But to the opposite, this particular minimalist shot would have been in harsh lighting if it were captured in warm colors.
Sun's starting to go down a little bit. It's been a pretty fun shoot, but couldn't ask for anything better. It's just perfect. I've never really shot the dunes in this lighting before, so it was a fun way to figure things out again. The sun's going out that way and catching the last bit of the reflected light on the dunes.
As the sun was setting, I decided to just focus on some abstract shots, and here's what I got. The final light of the day just turned the dunes into epic colors, almost looking like a painting. These two compositions were opposite ends of each other, and the light hitting on both got a big difference. You can see a stronger contrast in the shadows of the right dune, giving an illusion that each sand hill is only 3 brush strokes of paint, and the right picture just a soft dreamy look of golden hour. I have been having a blast capturing these dunes and fortunate with amazing conditions on this day, but I would have thought the sun setting might be the time to pack up and head to the car until I saw this. The sand completely turned white during twilight, and I could not believe what I was witnessing. The conditions post-sunset changed the scenery to a whole different world, but this spectacular scene only lasted for a few minutes. I managed to grab these 3 shots before the light completely disappeared. It was getting hard to capture these shots since we were headed towards long exposure territory and focusing the right dune in the dark was quite difficult. You might be wondering, coming to the dunes, you will most likely need a wide-angle lens for your compositions, but most of the shots I took were from quite the distance. It doesn't mean you don't have to bring a wide-angle lens for your next trip to the dunes, but having a telephoto lens definitely opens for more fun compositions and help narrow down the chaotic scenery of the landscape. So this wraps up the vlog of my photography session in the dunes. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more. I will see you next time.